hey, hey.
You gotta think about it. Think about it.
Game Girl. Game Boy.
Superstar DJs. Here we go!
Hello. Hey guys and girls, how are you all doing? Right, I was at an event yesterday on my lunch break, an advance warning. When I'm on my lunch break doing a video, washing machine either goes, which it won't today because there's no washing in there, or more likely the front door's going to go. So if that happens, I will edit it out, but just be warned. So yeah, yesterday I had a good little trip up to London. I went to the London Games Market last day of June. Today's first of July. Been there a couple of times before. I think a couple of times. Yeah, and it was good. It was, I say, busy. You know, they've changed the ticketing so that there's several tranches of entry. And I had the earliest one, which was 10:30. I thought it might space the volume of people out a little bit, and maybe it did across the whole day, but it was still very, very busy. And I think for me, anyway, that's the rub in terms of there are some good things, you know, that market. I think all a range of stuff in terms of, you know, like value and scarcity, but the downside is it's pretty packed. Even by getting in when I did, and I wasn't the front of the queue, I got there like a bit later than I would have hoped, but I was still there good 30 minutes ahead of the doors opening, and as it opened it was very quick getting people in. But yeah, by the people go to where they want to go, but most of the stalls were fairly flooded with people. But it was good, and I went up there with a list of things. I say with a list. I've got a bit of an ongoing little notepad in my on my phone, just really covering what I need, what I would like, just to, doesn't always work, curb spending or buying stuff that I don't necessarily need. So I think by being a bit more methodical, then more often than not, it doesn't always work, I'm kind of targeting things or systems that I've got a bit more interest in. Hope that made sense. Maybe it didn't. And cheers, the other members of the Hardcore 44. Oh, Monday, always need a bit of coffee. So I went in. I'm not going to go through these in the order that I bought them. It's maybe a bit weird. I'm going to go for. Let's start off. So when I went in there, someone I knew that would be stalling out, or two people. So I got some stuff from Stu, Tootie. So he was there with his partner in crime, Daz with the Atari bits, and Tootie with everything else. And yeah, always good to catch up, have a bit of bants. So, you know, good to see. As always, quite a bit of attention to his stall, which was cool. So I probably distracted him for too long. But no, it was good to have a chat with him, and talking a bit about PS1. So off the back of getting the CRT and the PS1, which literally my son was just using before for the LED, like the flip up screen, is now using it in the CRT. And do you know what? That's got both him and I, quite into it. So with some recommendations, big thank you to a few people, but the main thanks is to James, a Retro Import gamer, who suggested some wicked driving games, including Ray Tracers, which indeed is and isn't a million miles off from Chase HQ that I adore. So I'm loving that game. Toka Touring 2, not there. I've kind of moved them along. Yeah, probably a handful of other driving games. I'm like, okay, getting into it. I chatting with Tootie, and I'm going to be looking for the first time ever. Going to be looking at your PS1 wares. So grabbed 4 games. I think will be good uns for me and the boy. So yeah, so what did I get? Cool Borders 4. So I haven't got a any snowboarding titles for the old PlayStation. So yeah, whether or not there was more than 4 in the series, I have no frigging idea. But it should be a bit of a giggle, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully the son will like that. Had this back in the day, Driver, which I think by all accounts the one with like the most impossible tutorial. Almost puts you off. This game, I think it is, almost wants to put you off playing the main game. Pinball, always a bit of a giggle. Do like a pinball game. Looks quite decent. So true pinball. Nice to see ocean at the bottom there. It's fantastic. And yeah, is that Greg Rosetsky? Yeah. Actua Tennis with the Gregski, the Rosetsky. So so yeah, so building up. We've probably got piled over there. I think including them now, nearing about 20 games. Not after any big hitters certainly or anything like that. Just fun party games. Just the ones that, like I say, my son can get into, and ideally that both of us can enjoy. So that's cool. Yeah, and Tutti, blooming legend. He took setting off Alexa. I don't know how I've done that. Tutti, being the legend he is, has knocked off a fair chunk, should we say, from the. I know that these aren't like big hitters, but regardless, he's there paying probably a fair whack for the London stall. So yeah, needs to make every bloody pound that he can. But yeah, no, I'm really grateful, mate. So thank you if you're watching. I'm sure you are. So that was pretty neat. We'll put them to one side. If we stick with the PlayStation theme, there was a guy there. Hadn't seen him before. The reason being, he was selling off parts of his collection. So I think he was a bit of a once and done blitz. He didn't have the amount of games that, say, like Eddie Rollercore had, which kind of necessitated the need to go to various events. I think this guy, once he was done, he would have been done. He had a smallish table. We had one item I did have on my list, or two actually. But he had, there was a couple of games on there. So Gran Turismo 2. So looking forward to that one, and love these games, but mainly played them on Game Boy Advance. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 for the PlayStation. So that was cool. So yeah, nice guy. Him and his wife and his partner and his son. We had them all like stacked up, and I was just like, crap, it's one near the bottom. Can I have that one? And then I think I spotted Tony Hawk's on the other. Like, can I have that one as well? So it's like a frigging game of Jenga. I was just like, probably the boxes are pretty battered anyway. It was a good, decent price. But the thing that drew me in was this. Now I've got the old CRT. The old G-Con. Get some light gun gaming down us. So originally, I'm telling a bit of a white lie, I did have the G-Con on my list. But it was with Time Crisis. It wasn't with Point Blank. And that's because I hadn't seen many of the Point Blank ones around. I was casual looking on eBay. Nothing, sure there's a few on eBay, but the ones that kept popping up have been like Time Crisis, which I have played in before, but I have more of an affinity, if that's even a word, with Point Blank, because down Southend Seafront, and more recently at Neon Nights, the arcade Point Blank, which is good, and perhaps a little, I don't know, my son, he's fairly wise to the world, perhaps not. Shooting the kind of things you're shooting here is probably a bit tamer than taking out some of those terrorists you'd be doing in Time Crisis. But yeah, really, really nice. I was like, is it complete? And the guy goes, yeah, pretty sure it is. So I had a little look through, and it is. And it's in nice condition. It's the guy's from back in the day. So yeah, really pleased with all that, which was cool. What have we got there? I'm going to flit around. There was I don't think it was a shop, a guy that clearly goes to a lot of these events because he had a massive stools. Brilliant. And he had a tub full of game gear and some overseas Japanese like Game Boy carts. But I put the Game Boy stuff to one side because I'm trying to stay laser focused. But on the Game Gear side, there was 3 I didn't have. And then this one may be a load of turd based on the film Stargate. It's a tenner. Should have said for the other stuff, I paid at 70. With a bit of economies of scale, which I didn't think was too bad. In my mind, I had about 50 or 60 for the gun with Time Crisis, but I do believe the point blank one is worth. Command's a little bit more money. Obviously, the 2 games, they're fairly standard fare, aren't they? But back to the Game Gear. Haven't played these yet. F1. Can you go really wrong on a F1 driving game with Game Gear? Probably. This one I'm pretty sure is a port of the Master System version, which is actually pretty good. Dragon. See the Bruce Lee story. So I did say the price. So Stargate was a tenner. Bruce Lee was a tenner. And then £7 for F1. A retro frog in my throat. I see a little notification pop up on my phone that Amazon 8 stops away, so they're probably going to join in the video too, as well as the postman. What shall we go for next? These guys. I've been to their shop. I think the guy that owns it and runs it is it called James? I think I met him, had a little chat with him. Doorway to Dorgness. This is Goldtooth's Way in Yorkshire. Yeah, I'm sure they won't mind me sharing that. If you haven't ordered from them before, 5% off your first order. Might just be for the UK bods only, but yeah, so that was cool. And one of the games kind of links into what was after. I'm not that bothered, and it's slightly cheaper than what's on here as well. No manual, no cover, just the game, but Time Crisis. I think I can do without the. I'm not after kind of pristine boxes all complete. Not right now. Probably will be in 6 months. No. I must stay reserved, stay focused. No manual. Pro Skater 2. So we now have 2 and 4. So, but yeah, no, chuffed to get this one in to fire up the gun and get enjoying that. Right. Let's move that there. Do something a bit different. So normally this would be reserved for the end item if I have something which is fairly special, but fuck it, we're gonna have a look at it now. And this is the final item I got at the market. And if the door goes, it's going to be a proper cliffhanger, but it won't. And yeah, kind of took me. I had basically the signal in this place is crap, so card machines and all that can be a bit ropey. So I had some cash. My cash had gone at this point, and I should have walked out the door. But I thought I'd do one more circuit, and I came across a game from Sore Thumbs in York, but they have got a really cool website. I bought stuff from them before. This game I had when I was single digits, traveling with my old man. He picked up some work. It's really random. Picked up some work in Sweden, and maybe I must have been off school or something. But he's just like, "Oh, do you fancy coming?" And his work kind of sorted. This is years ago. Years ago, he retired. A good 25 years ago plus. And at the airport, we grabbed this game, And over the years, my one mysteriously vanished, but I'm fairly certain that the box that came with it, like a dick, maybe I left it in Sweden or at the airport, I would have ripped open the box, hopefully kept the manual. Again, that's vanished. And then just really focused on the games, because they were fairly basic games. I haven't taken it out, box protector. I think I might have a spare one upstairs for this, because when I bought another one of these, I got a couple, so I'm hoping that fits this one. So it's still in its shiny thing, so it's not going to look great in that, but it's nice. So Game & Watch, Nintendo Game & Watch, Gold Cliff. So a two screen vertical. You're a bit of an Indiana Jones type bod, and that's the simplest way to explain it. A bit of a platform game, really. Platforms appear, disappear, and they're in various patterns, and you have to work your way up and to the top of the screen, pick up a key, and then go a little bit further up the screen to use the key on the lock on the door, and then release some of the treasures. And you've got these crabs at the bottom. So yeah, Jesus, I'm really looking forward to. I've got some batteries upstairs, but getting this open, having another. I did have a quick look through there, but yeah, I want to properly go through everything and enjoy. I don't even really remember the box itself. And apologies, obviously got the sticker there because it's on the cellophane. I don't remember the back, but it's in really nice. There's Nintendo cardboard, and then there's Nintendo cardboard. It does have, it's not perfect, and I'd be an absolute cockerel obviously throw away the word like minty. There's a little crease there, but it's like tiny. So yeah, absolutely over the moon. In terms of history wise, because it has been on this for a while. It's on eBay at the moment, but I don't think people really know how to price it, because it fluctuates from, like, I think there's one on there, it's either I've got 280 or 350 in my head, but up to some dicks got it on about 1,200 quid or something like that, which is just like ludicrous. But there's not a lot to bench it on. The CEX one is a few hundred, but it's never in stock. And it was the penultimate double screen Game & Watch that ever came out from the original launches. The final one was Zelda, which is pretty freaking awesome. Would love one of them, but no nostalgia for it. So common sense, I shouldn't really go near that one at all. And there was apparently there's a prototype for Tetris, which is probably worth, say, millions, probably a few, over 100 grand, one would expect, if you were to come across one of those. It's probably steeped in history, but yeah, never saw the light of day. Maybe because they were pushing the Game Boy. And it's like, go for the Game Boy was fairly well priced. Obviously Tetris, the packing game, so maybe that's the reason. I'm not sure. So really, this was the penultimate one out of the ones that were released, and it was up for 210. I'm just going to say, yeah, it was in a shelf at the back. I really am rambling, apologies. And the price that was there, which I've ripped off, mainly for the wife, not for you guys, was covered. There was some stuff this side, so I had to walk round. It was really busy, and it was at the side of the shelving. And I basically said to the guy, "Look, I'm going to regret asking this, but how much is it?" He said the amount. The amount was 210. And in my mind, I'm already like, shit, that's so much less than anywhere I've ever seen elsewhere. Anywhere, genuinely. Look at eBay, prove me wrong. But, when box, complete, in good condition. And I looked again last night, hence I was quoting some of those values to you before. And I said, "Oh, could you do a bit better?" And he said, "Yeah, could do if you do cash." I didn't have that amount of cash in the first place, let alone by the time I was spent all my cash. But yeah, we got to 200 card, the card machine worked, and I was like, oh, man, it's going to be a nightmare if it doesn't. I would have done anything to, to brought this home, but it all worked out. So, yeah, I'll do like a separate video on it. This is just, I don't know if people say Holy Grail. Does that always mean it's rare? Because this isn't rare. But it is my Holy Grail in terms of, out of all if I was at the start of this mad journey to buy stuff, which has been going on a few years, I genuinely would have put this top 10, maybe top 5 as one of the items that sticks out. Master System, this, Mask, Boulder Hill. But yeah, this genuinely would have been on there. And it's been in my little notepad for a while, but it's just like, I can't afford that, or you don't see them boxed. Real ramble about this, but this is just like awesome. Totally made up. So I've got to say a big thank you to Sore Thumbs. Made it a very straightforward transaction. I think a very good price, and safe in the knowledge that, you know, I'm not a dickhead reseller, because if I was, one could make money off that. But for me, that's, yeah, it is pretty much the bloody one of the centerpiece items now in my collection. So crazy. If I was an emotional man, I'd be tearing up, but I'm not. Right. Not far off now. So what should we go for? So that was the big item, but these bits are pretty cool. So there's 2 sellers to go. I always forget the name. Weirdly, I looked at this on the old Tinternet not that long ago. 8-bit mods. A few people have these. I'm thinking Daily Retro, maybe Dylan. Maybe I've just quoted 2 tubers that haven't got this. I'm sure they have. But other people, if they haven't, other people certainly have shown this on pickups. But yeah, the mem card for the PlayStation 1 does need a micro SD card, which I have. But you can, obviously depending on the size of the micro SD card, you can get like thousands and thousands of saves on here. I think it does. Has it got like Wi-Fi on there, so it links up to Wi-Fi if you want to do like a cloud backup. The writing on the back so teeny tiny. It's got a little display on there. So yeah, but weirdly, because of the PlayStation stuff, middle of last week, I shit you not, I was going through thinking, I've only got 1 memory card at the moment. I'm sure someone was showing these around. So I found the website, sold out. It was like sign up for the the mailing when they're going to be in stock, and I think it was quoting July. We'll see now in July, so maybe I'll get that email sooner rather than later. But they were there. So I had these, and a few other odds and sods. Had some games, and chatting with the guy. Such a nice guy, really nice guy. So like friendly, lots of bants about bits. So I bought that, and I got this as well. You can get this off Amazon, probably similar price, but the stuff I've got from Amazon recently just gets thrown around and chucked around, and I thought maybe, I'm buying it from the obviously it's not the developer of the game, but buying from this guy. I thought, I'll pick it up there and then. I think on eBay again it's it's about 28 quid, I think, 28.99. So I haven't saved any money at all, but I just thought that's just a nice, let's get a physical item to bring back. So Toki, as you can see, for the old Switch. Again, I can't remember who the hell. Few people have picked this up. Maybe Retro Red Steve, maybe Ollie 8-Bit Boy, maybe Dylan, Hyper, maybe I'm just naming tubers again. But yeah, it's all sealed. It's got the sleeve, but you do get the card or whatever, a little arcade type cab to put your Switch in, play the game. Played this, bored everyone with this story already, so high level. Played one of the first arcade games I played when I was overseas. I was in Belgium on a school trip. It was either downstairs in this hostel machine, or it was in the cafe which was next door. One of 2 things, can't remember. because next door to that was the newsagents that had all the porn mags that we were ogling over, but didn't have the balls to buy. Belgium, I need to get back there. So yeah, so I got the memory card plus that, and then that was sort of that, and then a bit of Toki action. So I've got it digitally, definitely got it digitally. I was going to say, have I got the basic edition? I can't remember. I think I've just got it digitally. Love the game. And then we are nearly there. Just gonna have a quick slurp, and I'm still waiting for the door to go. What happened? There's a guy at the London gaming market who just sells Nintendo, predominantly DS, 3DS, Game Boy. He's selling his like collection, but he always pops up with new bits. So I do suspect maybe there's a bit of trading going on. Always there with his mum and dad. A bit of a team, albeit his mum's just looking for thieves. Even you got the exact cash, she won't take it from me. She was points to her son or to her husband, and it's a table of drool. Like if I not like to swap my collection, but if I had a ton of cash, you'd buy everything on the table and you'd walk away probably with one of the finest Game Boy collections in the land. It's incredible. So I chip away when I go. I'm like, okay, see what he's got. This time I avoided him until the middle part of my touring round, just because I know if I see him too early, then the cash is gone. So I approached. I see a game which I think I'd shown in my last pickups, not because it was a pickup, just because it was on the shelf and because it looked tatty as hell. Sticker damage, and so it's just worn, not good. So I had this on the list, and I couldn't see another. It's a very common game, Game Boy Advance. Couldn't see this elsewhere, but of course this guy had it. So yeah, Super Mario Advance 2, which is the one that has Super Mario World on. Super Mario Advance is the one that's got Super Mario 1, 2, 3 on. So this takes it to the SNES territory. Has it got just that one on there? Is it just? I think it's just that. It is just Super Mario World, I believe, with new features. Oh, it's got the Mario Brothers arcade game, which you can link up with 4 players. Damn. Next time I get to an event, if there's any other dweeby dicks like me that want to do multiplayer on a GBA, I've never done multiplayer on a GBA, have on the Game Boy back in the day, back in the playground. Yeah, we mind a bit of that. So that was cool. So I'm now going to move on. If anyone needs this, works fine, but it's just faded and it has got it's not great in the corner for picky bastards like me. Hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, it's going to be on eBay sooner rather than later to try and recoup some stuff. So at this point, I was pretty much out of cash. So I think I was 30, 35. It's not like a crazy, if you got a minty, you could spend a bit more than that. But it's not, it's a very common game. But then the sod. I looked across and I was just like, oh, Jesus. I picked up the first one of this game series from Retro Hunter, and I think it was in my last pickups. Got this one loose, but the last one I had loose as well. But so I got that one boxed. I'm like, it'd be good to get this one boxed. Yeah, and the guy had it. I was playing with the other one, and I was just like, "Do you dream it, or did you have like Doom 2?" And he goes, "Yeah." So I have a look at it. I was just like, "Oh, Jesus." So it's a good game. Yeah, it's meant to be better than the original in terms of. I don't think the original's got all the music in, all like the soundtracks, all of the enemies, all the levels. I think this pretty much maxes out the best of the GBA's ability. Anything it can chuck at it, and it's, boy, is it nice. It's not minty because we don't do minty. But if I start saying that, people are going to be like, ah. It's like a nano mark. Yeah, certainly not minty, but for me, it's pretty sweet. Saw that, and I'm like, look, wait, you keep having a chat with the guy now. You drip feed and stuff. You got like other bits. Where's all this fucking gold coming from? And he goes, oh, what are you after? And I said, there's 2 bits left on my Game Boy Grail. I'll buy other. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to buy other Game Boy stuff. But there's two big hitters that I need to get, and I need to get a good price. So if I can get both of them from the same person, arguably there's a bit of a negotiation to be had. But let's be honest, the same person having both of these is extremely unlikely. And spoilers, I haven't got either of them. And if the day I get both of them, probably is the day I hang up my my YouTube hat. No, just kidding. It's the day I don't know what would happen after that. After that day, it just wouldn't be as high hitting. But so I mean, I'll say what the two games are. Dick Tracy, which is just such a bugger to find boxed, and if it is boxed, it's just, oh man, it's just like it's ripped, or it's really faded, or it's got a sticker issue. Someone's drawn a dick over the dick. Anything can go wrong with the Dick Tracy game trainer. There's one on eBay, and it's not. I liked it. I favorited it for a while, thinking, oh, maybe the guy will chuck out an offer, and he hasn't. And then I keep looking at it, and I'm just like, that's not good enough. It's like there's little marks and things, and I'm like, I don't want to. Even though I had the money, I wouldn't buy that. It's crazy. And the other one is Super Probotector 2, of which I have loose. I might even have the bloody manual, but the box is just a shit to get. Again, one on eBay for like 100 quid more than I'd ever want to go near. So, and you chuck them an offer. They've either turned off offers just for me or for everyone. Maybe I just pissed them off. So I was saying to this guy, and he's like, look, I haven't got either, but keep the word to the street. He's a bit of a wheeler dealer networker. I was like, yeah, okay, if you've got the next time, we can cut a deal. I'll buy anything else for like the entire year. But he goes, Probotector. He goes, have you got this game? It's the one I'm looking at and about to show on the screen. And I was just like, no, I don't think that wasn't a power release. It just got released in Japan and the US, and kind of weaved it in with the Doom. I'd already paid for Mario with some cash at that point, my final little bit of cash. So I'd given him a bit of business, and obviously he'd seen me before. So yeah, the game it's quite exciting for me. Probably going to fucking hate it. It's Contra 4. So Contra 4, I'm fairly confident in saying this, but shoot me in the comments if I'm talking BS. I'm sure this is the only way to play this game and without emulating. Because even on the Contra collections, it's obviously a dual screen game, and I'm pretty sure it's not on there. So it's the only. I've got all the 3DS games. There's no Contra 3DS game that I'm aware of, unless it's just Japan only, and I'm sure there isn't another game for the DS. So yeah, and it's meant to be a very, very good game, which I haven't even got back last night. England disappointed or stressed, and then they won, and then a couple of beers, and I was in bed. So today's work. I'm due back in a minute, so maybe tonight I'll play this. But yeah, Contra 4. So the Contra and the Probotectors always confuse the hell out of me. But if I've got it right, and Contra 3, which is the Alien Wars, which is Super Probotector, this is the sequel to that. And obviously there were games that were released between Contra 3 and Super Probotector, such as Contra Hardcore, but I think they're more deviations from the main story, where you're playing against terrorists or humans, as opposed to back to getting the fucking aliens and taking them out. So yeah, double digits, but nearly into triple. So yeah, probably one of my more expensive, or definitely one of my more expensive DS games. But really cool to have. And as you have a look on, I'd probably change today or whenever you're watching the video, but I think one would struggle, certainly in the UK, to find this, particularly in a box. And yeah, absolutely awesome. So But the coolest thing is, because the dual screen, I don't know if you can see, but like the middle of there, obviously the levels and the gameplay, yeah, make the most of the dual screen on the GUS. So it's got a completely different, it's like a vertical tarte feel. Have you used that? Tarte feel, as opposed to your orthodox, traditional, you know, horizontal playing Contra games. So I'll leave you on that. Yeah, really, really pleased. And it's now got me thinking, okay, what other games are there for the DS that are perhaps, you know, exclusives or a bit more interesting? We'll have to see. Where the fuck is the postman? Where's Amazon? It's not here yet. Thanks for your time. I've waffled a lot. I'm conscious of that. About half an hour, I think. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Lots of love to everyone. Cheers for the support. Particularly like the comments. Get some fantastic little dialogue and chats with people, which make it. It's why I do it. Genuinely. As for that, never thought I'd get any comments. So do like that. If you have a chance to do that, then that will make my day. Right. Have a good one. Cheers.